Here comes the nasty gram.
Send a priest to save my soul, forget it.
Welcome back to the Nastygram RPG podcast. This is Wings of Kani, episode 14, Saboteur.
Feeling it too hard is the poison to the heart of a cynic.
Backlit by the smoldering dead planet of Kani, we see a ship depart the sprawling space station city of New Toros. The camera pans to follow the ship, revealing its destination, the Imperial light cruiser Oracle. The shuttle pierces the airlock shielding of the hangar bay and gently touches down on the hangar floor. Kita overwhelm the hangar, as those ferried in from New Toros sort through the equipment salvaged from their former home. Rij, waiting at the edge of the landing pad, takes a deep breath and steps up to the lowering gangplank of the shuttle. More of Rij's people shuffle down the ramp, carrying their lives in backpacks and repulsor lift containers. The last to depart is by far the best dressed, carrying only a datapad, Viceroy Dosh, the leader of these refugees. Dosh! The Viceroy looks up from his datapad and frowns in Rij's direction.
Rij Kantari is it? What can I do for you?
The aspects are meeting to discuss what we'll do after the Kita are all aboard. They're expecting you at the Oracle. Will you be the one to tell them that you no longer speak for the Kita, or shall I? Dosh is taken aback.
Whatever do you mean? I intend to fulfill my term.
Rij leans close and says at a whisper, You sold us out to the Imperials, and by extension are complicit in what happened to Kani. Don't deny it, I have proof of this. Communications intercepted from you to the Imperial Governor. The aspects would no doubt strip you of your rank and throw you out of an airlock if they heard. Dosh smiles and says,
How bold of you, Rij. Blackmail. That works if you're the only one with leverage. How about this, Rij? Should I call you Vigos?
Dosh's smile turns into a wicked smirk.
You keep my little communique a secret, and I won't broadcast the hologram I have of you and your resistance friends planting that thermal detonator. How many Kita died? Was killing that Imperial commander worth so many lives?
The Viceroy stands up tall and brushes past Rij on his way to the Oracle.
For millennia, the Takani lived in peace, in communion with their homeworld of Kani. The galactic civil war forced the Takani to leave their home. Together with the Kita and the 11 synthetic Venko, the denizens of Kani and their fleet gather unlikely allies in their search for a new home.
Hello there. Welcome back to the Nastygram RPG podcast. My name is Devin, and I'll be your Galactic Master.
Hey everyone, Dan here playing Zeta the Sailor.
Yeah.
Hey folks, it's John. I'm playing Rij Kantari, the Baylor, and S3RV0, the flotation device.
Hey everyone, this is Jake, and I'm playing Santavar, the goo collector.
Misama!
Fuck.
Oh no.
No.
I'm going to be playing the Gungan General Popo Gallo.
Who's an aquatic species? Fuck y'all.
Who needs his goo? Give me that goo.
Can we determine right now?
Give me the goo.
Does Zeta breathe? Can Zeta breathe underwater?
No, there's no breathing. They don't breathe. They do need, I don't know. Yellow sun or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm Kryptonian.
He puts glasses on.
Yeah. Who is that?
All right.
I just realized Josh is going to hear this when he edits it, and he's going to hear my Gungan
He's probably his ears are probably going to bleed.
Yeah.
Good.
100%. Love you, buddy.
We still love you, buddy.
Let's just play
All
the Gungan
Gungans.
Council.
this episode, we all switch over. We play
All right.
Gungans.
In front of you guys, I have
Put all your-
I put new playbooks, and we are going to play Gungans.
Amazing.
I got the Bombad General.
The destruction of Oto. Remember, everyone has two boomas.
Yep, two
on
boomas.
the character
Yep.
sheet.
Wow.
How many goo grenades do I have?
This past Disney executive. No, it wasn't Disney back then, right?
No,
There's
Just George
pure,
Lucas.
pure
Yeah.
George.
Just pure George.
which is not the Great George.
Yeah.
He needs direction.
He needs a guide.
They have an advanced move called Take this one, and when you can spend equipment to aid an ally.
Big oopsie would be a good
Big
one.
oopsie's a
Oh,
good
yeah.
one.
Oopsie.
All right, I'm gonna. Speaking of moves, can I roll for a move?
Yes.
A beginning of game.
Yes, beginning of adventure moves
adventure.
because some adventure is afoot. So roll it.
I'm gonna roll for moth to the flame.
Yep.
What does a moth to a flame do, Jake?
I'm gonna tell you after I roll.
Well, I was going to tell you what it did too.
8, which means it succeeds. Which means I get 1 hold. I can use that hold to be at the scene of danger.
I was going to say if you failed, you were in the bottom of the ship.
If you fail, then the game master gets a hold, and they can use that hold to be at the scene of danger.
There you go.
It's great. But you get that hold, right?
I was just imagining the GM being at the scene. It's just Devin. That's true. Hey,
Hey, what are you doing here? Told you. We see the characters as they introduce themselves. We see Zeta aboard the Oracle in front of a terminal, communications terminal. We see Rej aboard the Wandering Star, just getting this message from Zeta. We see San as well on the Oracle in the central room, that central chamber, along with General Gallo. And the ship rocks the Oracle. Things slide out from under your feet. You have to hold on to something or be slammed against the wall. And you see this as well, Rej. You look out the viewport and you see the water in this lake has swelled and is pouring into it. The water line is now above those cargo bays, those hangar bays, and water is rushing in. The ship is tilting unevenly.
Gallo, get the engine spun up. We need to get out of here.
He's gonna leave us.
Get the Wandering Star to dry land. I'm going to try to get to the bridge and get this thing started.
The ship rocks a little bit, but then you feel the water release you and you're up in the air. We're airborne, Chief.
All right, drop me off at the turbo lift and then get out of here. I leave the cargo bay door open, kind of skimming along the water, and then it gets to like a little like elevated spot where the turbo lift is, and Rej hops out and calls it up to the bridge.
S3 is at the top of that ramp spinning around.
S3, stay with Caldo.
Devin, the same terminal that I'm at that kind of gave me this information, does it say why or how?
The information that you got is there's just an alarm on all lower decks.
The comms opened again and Zeta says, I would recommend taking the Wandering Star below the surface to understand what damage is causing the water.
Sorry, Dan. I think you missed it.
What?
Because Devin described that the water is coming in through the cargo hold, right? Through the open cargo hold doors.
Well, something below.
Or is there also water somewhere else?
That's all. That what Rej saw is water just pouring into
Okay.
the cargo holds.
whatever the Oracle was landed on, I think is starting to sink and fall away.
Okay. I say, Zeta, can you connect to the ship, do a damage report, find out if there's a hull breach?
Processing.
Assessing. Roll it.
He, 13. I fix it.
Cool.
One of the main engine bays is flooding. You're getting red lights along most of the back section of the ship.
Current reports only indicate flooding, not the source.
Just told you the source. The main engine bay, right?
No, I mean,
Water.
like the source of why.
Oh, okay.
It's,
All right.
he says, the main engine bay is the primary point of entry.
Zeta, see if you can get the engine started. I'm gonna get to the bridge and see if we can get this bird off the deck.
On my way to the engine bay. General Gallo, can you breathe underwater?
Yes.
Could you help me?
Sure. What you need?
As we're running down the hall, I say, we need to stop the water from flooding the engine bay. I'm not sure where it's coming in. Some sort of hull breach, I assume.
Okay. You just point out what you need.
Zeta, what are you doing?
Zeta is going to probably make another assessment. Well, here's what he's going to do. He is going to see if the flooding has made it impossible to ignite the engines.
Okay.
And if so, to what point do we need to return to in order to move the ship again? Requires a remarkable amount of energy to move a ship this scale in atmosphere, right?
And you don't have access to those systems.
Right. Those that's not a problem, or won't likely be. But I wouldn't likely be able to do it by myself.
Correct.
On a ship this scale.
Regardless, you couldn't start the ship up by yourself.
Okay.
But you might be able to learn more if you reach out.
I think he will open up a comm to the main engineering.
Sure.
And he will say, "This is Zeta. Please update me on current engineering readouts."
You hear something come back. You hear this in the background. This is engineering. We're taking on water. About half a meter. It's pouring in steadily. We don't know. We're trying to get to the source. We need backup in engineering. Heavy equipment.
With the current conditions, are you able to ignite the engines?
What?
We should probably leave this current location.
He started, "Hey, coil up those drives. Let's get them hot. I'll let you know."
Understood. Zeta's gonna leave the terminal he's at and head for one of the hyperlifts.
Okay.
And he's going to head to the bridge.
Okay. Hyperlift comes up. The Rij is already standing on the bridge, standing next to a couple other Kita technicians who looks like they're working on systems. They were already on the bridge, and they seem to be now very vigorously at work.
We need to get the power from the shield generator into the repulsor lift engines in order to get it high enough so we can light those engines.
I'm not a shield tech.
I don't care. Get over here. He pulls him over and pulls this panel apart and starts redirecting cables. He says, "There, the shield generator main power is here. We can pull the cable out. Here, grab a cable from over there."
Okay.
He starts clamping it in and drawing the cable over to where there's this another control panel where the main repulsor lift controller is.
This guy has an extension cord in his hand.
Yep.
He's looking at you wide-eyed. Give me a plus Kani.
Okay.
Do you have a move? Give me homegrown solutions.
It would be technical savant.
Or technical savant,
Yeah.
sure.
11.
Okay.
So I get ask 2. But this is more about learning about what an item does. So maybe a homegrown solution then. Even though it's generally explosive, but in this sense, I'm jerry-rigging the ship to divert as much power to get it up off of the water. Not flying, but enough to get the engines drained so we can start the engine.
There is some combustion.
Yeah.
There is some chemical reactions going on.
Yeah.
What'd you get?
11.
11. The ship, you feel the back end of that ship just start to buzz and start to lift. Now, the rocking of the ship is not as severe, and you feel the ship is sort of bouncing as it's trying to lift itself up, but it's not there yet.
Yep. Main weapons battery. Open that canister and let's pull some power from the main weapons.
Yes, Chief. And they're hard at work.
Comms over to Caldo. Gallo, I need you to get under the water and see what's causing this to become unsettled.
You get a report back from engineering. We got a little bit of lift. We're not taking any more. We're not taking on any more water. But it's going to take some time to get this all clear, especially with engines hot.
Zeta relays that to you as he walks through the door of the bridge. And then he says, Rij, you currently have things under control. I will accompany Caldo. And
All right.
He kind of turns about face and he starts climbing up a access ladder that's near the entryway, which you know is to a air hatch.
Yep.
You already hear the engines of the Wandering Star hovering overhead. San, General, you're making your way to the back of the ship?
To engineering.
Engineering. You get there and you see there are Kita, even a couple Gungans in there who are all have this equipment that they're trying to sort of block off an area of water, and then these big pumps, these big tubes to try to either blow it or suck it. It seems like it's there's this graded walkway, and there's water just like up maybe knee high above this walkway, and you see people are just trudging through water.
I say to one of the engineers, I felt the ship lift. Are we out of the water?
It felt like we were hit. Engines are hot, and it's like in here. The engines are hot. I don't think we're taking on any more water, but we have to get this out of here. It felt like we got hit.
Rish, have you moved the ship up above the waterline?
I brought the repulsor lifts online. I don't know how much higher I can get this ship. Limited power. We weren't fully generating.
How high is it now? Is the bottom of the ship, is engineering still underwater?
It is.
You're buoyant for now.
If you can get some of the main reactors online, we can get more power to the repulsor lifts.
What's the actual scale of this ship? How big is it?
It's a capital scale ship.
Big.
A crew of, let me check.
It's like a small Star Destroyer, right?
Imperial light cruiser.
I say, all right, we're not taking on more water, so that part is at least above the water line, but we need to get this out.
It's about 325 meters long, 135 meters wide, 56 meters deep. Complements starships, crew, 100 officers, enlisted crew and pilots would generally service this ship, as well as 100 passengers. You have, when you left Kani, you had much more than that, but 1,200 tons of cargo space, enough supplies for months at a time for the entire ship. It's big. It has a reactor. Its power is a fusion reactor that takes some time to get enough energy to move this thing. Yeah, especially in atmosphere.
I say I want all non-essential personnel out of engineering now. Everyone who's staying needs emergency decompression gear. I go to like a emergency panel and pop it open and put on a mask, and I point like down the hall to another one and I say, make sure everyone who stays in here has one of those on.
There's a foreman there who starts echoing your order and pointing to crew members as they go. One of them is showing the Gungan how to use the emergency equipment. It looks like a gun. One of your engineers, actually.
I say, Rij, stand by to vent atmosphere from engineering.
Standing by.
Give me 2 minutes.
Shit.
I say, everyone hold on to something. When this water gets sucked out, it'll take you with it if you're not careful. I want to vent as if we were in space.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds unsafe when there's people in here.
Definitely.
I'm going to want
But he's a Sith Lord.
One could say that I am currently arrogant and aggressive.
Okay. What is what's the aggressive? Is that cool?
It's rugged. Actually.
Rugged?
Yeah.
But
arrogant is cool. So I think I know this will work. It might kill people, but it'll save more people.
Give me a plus arrogance roll to command. You're commanding these people that are currently.
As long as they're not dumb and do their job, they'll be fine.
Wow.
Of course.
But it'll save everyone else.
Yeah.
Save the smart people.
Hey, I rolled good.
The ones
I
that
got
Russ
an
agrees
8.
with.
Okay. Several people strap in. Not many stay. A lot of people evacuate the deck, or evacuate the engineering bay. But everyone gets emergency vac suited up, and they clip on. They have these harnesses that they clip onto the outside structures.
Reese says, "We're going to lose some of the repulsor lift power when we try to make when we try to blow the air out of that compartment. So you're going to need to get that reactor online ASAP."
Heard.
You ready?
I get on like if there's like a local intercom just for like engineering.
Sure.
And I say 20 seconds to decompression.
And you see that there's a couple of crew that are working on the actual manual controls to vent the engine bay.
Yeah, when Reese like punches power to it, the lights dim and the ship kind of settles a bit as the power of the repulsors go out enough to vent all of this water and air.
Zeta is loping along the top of this huge ship, running across the surface of it as Caldo kind of starts to slowly descend towards the top of it with an open hatch in back. And he leaps in through the back of the ship and clambers his way up into the Wandering Star.
It takes more effort than you think it does.
Mm-hmm. The gravity is always unfamiliar. So he clutches kind of at the ends of it. Kind of his mindset is always he propels himself once through space and then he's on that trajectory. But this requires much more effort. And as he climbs aboard the Wandering Star, he hits the button to close the ramp and works his way to the cockpit.
Give me plus rugged.
Sure.
Is that -1?
I rolled really well, though.
Oh.
It is -1, so that's a 9.
Ooh.
You jump, and the bottom of that hydraulic lift, you like slam into it with your chest, and you climb up. You feel this scraping. Take 1 vitality.
Ow. Did I recover when I consumed one of my siblings?
Oh, you did. You were full. You were maxed
Super.
out. But you do get aboard the Wandering Star.
Okay, great.
Get there.
S3 is latched in. There's a little appendage that comes out of S3, and is like the wheels are like spinning and oscillating, but the droid is just staying in place. And you get a good look as Caldo begins to rise. You can see the ship. The water is turbulent underneath it. You can see sort of on the edge of the lake, there's debris and things from this, seems like this initial surge picked things up, but now they seem to be rotating a bit, being pulled towards the center as the ship is trying to pull up.
Okay. The ship is being turned, not the water.
The ship is buoyant, so it looks stationary because of its repulsor lifts. But you still do see the effect of the water. It's not completely out yet.
Got it. Zeta, I think from the cockpit, immediately sits down and buckles up, knowing that there'll be a kind of brace for impact as we hit the water.
And the ship dives. We see the splash, and then we cut back into the Oracle. On the bridge, the ship, lengthy repairs are being done, and the engine is powered, but it's will likely not be able to lift you high up in the air. You might be able to get up above the water, but this is a big ship.
Yeah.
It's not ready. It's not ready to go airborne yet.
We need to get this to some sort of land and bring it down as gently as we can.
3, 2, 1. And you see light pour in as in the back in engineering bay, these huge panels surrounding the engines open up and just water pours out like a waterfall. We cut to the long shot of the ship, and we just see this cascade of water pour out of the back. And there's this significant pulling that happens inside of the engine bay, as it's normally a sealed space.
San opens a comm to Zeta and then lets his comm link go. So the water pulls it out. And before I let it go, I just say, track this. I actually know he tracks me all the time.
Yep. You see the lights of the wandering star of those engines firing even under the water as it disappears into the darkness. Thinking of how I want to do this because you guys are split up now.
Mm-hmm. For the Oracle, we didn't actually like design the ship. Can we do the like hashtag submersible?
Sure. Yeah. Then it just fixes that. Then we're fine.
Yeah. Then we're all fine. Down there.
Lightning charge. Charges up really quick.
Force light.
General, you get a communication that you have your crew is approaching the Oracle, and we're gonna pick you up, boss. We're gonna pick you up, boss. We're coming.
I'm at engineering.
And you see out that open vents, you see one of those ships glide out behind or just underneath those engines.
Son,
I look at you.
you want to come?
We need to seal this deck. If we don't seal whatever ruptured this deck, the ship is going to sink. We have to find the damage.
The ship is off the water, right?
It's repelling water. The engines are repelling water. There's this like how do I describe this?
Like a vent almost. I mean like a fan like pushing air out, like it's just pushing water and air out.
Repulsor engines are pushing water
Right.
away from the bottom of the ship, and this watercraft is able to pull up underneath it.
So basically engineering is dry now. There's no water in it, but there's also no breathable air. Like we're wearing these like vac suits, right?
Whatever atmosphere is in engineering is what is going to be in there. You know, on the outside of these vents, the ship is still above water. And so you're in an enclosed, sealed space. But give me an assess.
Assess is what?
Kenny.
9.
There are engineers that are over on one of these control panels, and there seems to be one of these vents that is looks like it's damaged, but they seem to be quickly heading to work on it. It seems like this breach was just caused by a huge surge of water that buckled one of these panels. Venting it has reset the position of the panel of this this breach, and it should close properly.
So in theory, if I tell Riche to close the vents, then we should be good.
You should be good.
All right. Riche, engineering is clear.
All right,
Close the vents. I
Close
repeat.
the vents and send Atmo in. It's really loud in there. Reach will send the close command, but we're not sure if we are still buoyant or Reach is going to look for a parcel of land where I can beach the ship.
Straight ahead of you. A lot of these
That
trees.
won't crush poor little Gungans.
just all of the Takani. The rest of them, just there goes.
They're now
There's the-
extinct.
There's the landing strip where where the spacecraft landed.
Okay.
And you could lay like the front half of the ship on it.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, not you, but your homies, depending on how this roll goes.
All right. We're going to need to go forward, put the nose of the ship onto the ground, make sure that this thing doesn't sink.
The same guy who told you he wasn't a shield tech is like, I'm not a pilot either.
What the hell are you?
I'm a doctor.
I'm a doctor. I'm an artist.
No, I knew it.
Get out of here.
They get to work. Yeah, give me a roll.
Swath. Or Reach is going to take control of the ship.
Give me rugged.
Can I assist by trying to
the
get
force?
by trying to get the engineers to like, do work faster, basically?
Yes. Yep.
By trying to get engineering organized and get more power to the ship.
More power.
A dark
More
Jedi
power.
get
More
more
power.
power.
I just start
Isn't it interesting? He tells them to work faster rather than, can I help them? Is there anything I can do?
I don't think San knows much about engineering. I don't think he's an engineer.
You can absolutely
But he
help
is
them.
a,
He just
but he is
knows a
a
lot
people
about power.
person. He's
Yeah.
a people person.
You also have a better look at what is going on than they do. They are over in the sort of working on the device itself. You get a good look at this whole flap. So
Can't
give
you
me the-
understand? I'm
want me
good
to
with people.
Roll help out.
Sure. Plus bond. Do you have a bond with?
I do, yeah. I don't
what is
remember
it?
what it is, but it's over here somewhere.
I want to hear it.
Oh, I remember what it was. I don't remember exactly what I called it, but red is just a color.
Yep. Sure.
Yeah. Nope. Nice. Failed.
Good for you.
So I exposed myself to danger.
I got a 9.
Okay.
Would have been great.
The
Also, point of order. I had no vitality and 2 wounds on me at the end of episode 12.
okay.
I imagine my vitality comes back.
Yes.
Do any of my wounds?
Refresh 1 wound.
Okay.
Because at this point you've been on Naboo for a day.
Yeah. Well, we were in hyperspace. And stuff.
You were in hyperspace. Yeah. Your time to.
Okay. Anyways.
Cool. Those vents begin to close.
Getting the engines powered up so we can inch forward onto the landing pad. Engineering those reactors, get them online.
We're online, Chief. Running 70% operational temp. It's keeping the water out. We're not taking any more on. Hangar base still flooded.
All right, I need some eyes up front, but I'm going to move this ahead.
All right, Chief, on your mark. And they're all working diligently now.
Ahead 1/4.
This thing is just slowly moving. San, that roll you were trying to make them work faster.
Uh-huh.
How?
I don't really know. 'Cause I don't know how fusion engines work, so I'm not really sure how you would try to get power to it faster. But
I think it was more like they had to retreat from the engine as everything got vented and the vents
Sure.
closed. So just getting them.
maybe I'm
back
trying to get them
it.
back to their stations. Yeah. I think what might be cool for exposing San to danger, maybe there's some sort of control panels that are harder to get to because of the flooding. And San goes to them himself and gets stuck in the compartment.
Part the water like Moses with the Force.
I know. You're yelling over a broadcasted comm channel. You run over to that control panel and you start working away, and you're still yelling, and we just see San's face over there's the noise of the engine, and we can't see what he's yelling, but we see he's like baring his teeth and yelling as he's slamming away at these controls, and we see that hand reach and like grab and pull, and there's like a fluctuation of energy through the system, and it goes black. the screen turns off and you hear one of the engines. And then just this subtle feeling of you almost fall. The floor falls out from under you.
It's like riding an elevator.
It's like this crack of thunder that it echoes throughout this entire chamber. You look down, no water is coming in, but it's just this scent of burning like aerosol in the air as one of these engines has shorted, and the engineers are running by. It says, "We put too much power in too quickly. Get out of the way, out of the way." Pushes past you and goes to work.
Everything's great down here.
How are you?
But you guys drew too much power out of the engine too quickly.
The data corroborates this, of course.
Oh, boy.
The Oracle is safe for now. Rij is up on the bridge. San and the General. Maybe, the General, you've made your way towards the hangar bay. Your ships are waterborne.
Yeah.
That's where your that ship, that vessel that had come to collect you, is meeting you there. And you see San is just finished with the engineers. Walks up to you.
Soaking wet.
I think the general's probably going to, if his ship is like not docked over the comms, he's going to ask, "You saw see what did this? You saw know the ship go down or water go up?
We don't see anything.
Everyone okay? On land? The
Yeah,
lake?
we saw okay. Yeah, we saw okay.
I calm Rij and I say, "Rij, it looks like some sort of current, a surge of water. It hit the outtake so quickly it destroyed the backflow. Water started coming in through the vents.
Something must have done it. That shielding should have withstand normal.
It should withstand turbo lasers."
Right. Caldo, Zeta, have you found anything?
It's dark down here. And
Zeta, when we vented the ship, I let go of my comlink. You should be able to trace the path it took when it left the ship.
Understood. You see Zeta's hand reach out to a panel on the Wandering Star, and lights come on at the front of the ship as we descend into the darkness.
you get the faintest reading from a personal communication device. Give me an assess.
12.
2.
It is about 15,000 meters below you. It went very far, very fast. And it looks like you look out the viewport. You ask Caldo to give you a horizontal descent. And you can see there's even this vortex of water. It lessens to just a strand, but it just goes down and down and down and down. You can feel the water pull against the engines.
Currently, your locator is 15,000 meters below us. We are descending.
15,000?
That is correct.
Is it 1,000 or 100?
15 kilometers.
Oh, Jesus.
What'd you get for that assess?
12.
This could only be described as a fault line opening up, a geological a crack in the geology of this foundation of this lake.
That's creating that much of a pull or a draw downward. Understood. As we descend, he starts doing scans that kind of traverse the bottom of the lake, and he probably sees a fault line like this.
Yep.
As he kind of makes the calculations in his head, he opens up the comm line and says, "It would appear that the tectonic plates of this planet are shifting, altering. The fault line opening created a draw downwards, which created the disturbance."
Rij, are you listening?
Yeah.
Rather convenient, yes? That a fault line opened directly below engineering.
Do you think someone's controlling the tectonic plates of this planet?
That would seem highly unlikely. But the damage may be intentional.
There are legends of force users that could create earthquakes, storms of force energy.
Are there more than stories? Is this fairy tale? Or are these truths?
I don't know.
Well, Engine 2 is completely out of action for now.
Yeah, you really shouldn't have drawn all that power. You guys really fucked up there.
It's going to be even longer before the Oracle lifts out of this planet.
The vacuum that was created by the plates seems to have slowed. It is unlikely further danger will present itself.
I'm going to look around down here in engineering and see if I can find any evidence of foul play.
Dan, I'm going to say in the Oracle, Caldo says.
In the Wandering Star?
Sorry, in the Wandering Star. Theta, I think we should wait for this to subside before we go down.
You are worried that we will be drawn down with it?
Yes. We need some repairs ourselves, honestly. We could make it down, but not when the waters are turbulent like this. I don't think the engines could keep up.
Agreed.
Devin doesn't want you to split the party.
Resurface.
Already on it. You feel yourself lifting. And all is quiet for now as the Wandering Star breaches the surface. The Oracle is at rest, its nose pointing straight up, higher than some of the trees in the area. Looks like another hill, another.
Don't get Jake started.
No. Speaking
Can I
pointy,
go around
gray.
it? Or?
Can we climb over it?
It's like a ridge.
Would you describe it as oblong?
Yeah.
Would you say that it's craterous, like an English muffin?
Yeah.
Nooks and crannies.
Convex. So all is well for now. Do you go back aboard your ship?
Yeah, probably. To assess damage along the shore, check in with people, but
We see General Gallo walking around. Everything seems fine. The pods hold up as they should. Flash flooding and surges of water are not capable of moving these Gungan pods from where they're affixed. But everything seems fine. It's quiet again. You can hear the heavy equipment off in the distance between you and Theed. You guys should maybe, and then do Star Wars cut. Star Wars cut.
Screen wipe.
Screen wipe. If I was a good GM, I would have had a Viceroy Dosh scene.
You are a good DM, Devin. Okay?
Thanks.
Yeah, don't
You
put
didn't say that on
yourself
TikTok.
Hear that, Josh?
Well, I mean, Jake's a better DM.
He's King DM. Let's see the group all together. You're all on the lakeshore where that landing pad used to be, where the Wandering Star first landed on the planet. Now there's a front half of a Imperial light cruiser propped up there. And it's actually made some of the work easier. As you can see now, there are people on lifts, repulsor craft that are assessing and doing repairs to the ship. Inkatum spends most of their time up on that hill, taking in whatever sunlight that they can, along with many of the other Tikani. But a group of Gungan soldiers, General Gallo, Zeta, Rij, and San, are all there. The Wandering Star and another Gungan escort vessel floating just in the shore nearby. The water has calmed now. That spiraling has stopped. Everything seems at rest. You look to the distance and you still see smoke rising in the distance. The sky is gray.
Zeta is looking at the landscape, and he says, increased tectonic activity like this may indicate an advanced timeline for this planet's destruction. You should consider alternative options. He looks at you, General Gallo.
what's that you mean?
Tectonic activity indicates global destabilization.
Your planet's going to become uninhabitable.
That is a working hypothesis.
For who, sir?
For you, for humans.
If we still have access to the goo, we can survive.
I'm not sure it's that easy, General Gallo. This planet may become filled with lava flows and fire.
You seem pretty confident that if you had access to your goo, you'd be safe.
We have a chance.
And you seemed interested in our ship because it can get you there, can't it?
Yes.
So let's make a deal. We bring you to the goo. We help you get it. And in return, what can you do for us?
Can get you in the city.
And what can we get there?
Answers? Maybe your viceroy. If this is a weapon, yes. Maybe who controls it is in there.
Maybe.
One more thing we need. Something you've already agreed to. Security. You're to keep the Oracle safe. We almost lost it there. We need to make sure it doesn't sink, but it can't leave the lake right now. Your people seem quite good at making things float. I point to the pods. Those didn't move at all.
No, sir, we grow them and build. It's part of the land.
Let us use some of them to keep the Oracle afloat, just until repairs are done. In return, we'll get you to your goo.
There's just no fucking... There's no amount of badass diplomacy that makes it sound good. None.
You goo your life. Give me the goo.
I think we can work something out.
All right.
How much time you think we have?
Indeterminate. Once sensors indicate whether this atmosphere has similar conditions to Dodori 6, we will be able to draw further conclusions. I recommend that we find this goo as soon as possible.
And I think going deeper, we can probably learn more as well.
Maybe we find the source of whatever this terraforming power and stop it.
Deep into the goo.
We need to dive deep into the goo.
Say it again, deeper and slower.
He's gonna get sticky.
I'm gonna get cool.
God. The end of this podcast. I've foretold it. If anyone played a Gungan,
It's over.
How do you all prepare to go underwater? I don't think any of you have done this before in the Wandering Star. You know that you can do it. Caldo says he's done it once.
We've probably done it on Gita.
On
as a maybe
Kani.
a escape, or Kani rather, maybe as an escape mechanism from some Imperial.
Let's say Reg has done it.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think either of us have. In preparation, I tried to get more information about the former capital of the Gungans.
Otoganga. Okay. Give
Can I assist him?
yeah, absolutely.
Can I use some of my sort of contacts within Gungan society to not only get him like technical information, but also some of the like Gungan legends?
Sure.
I like that.
The Gungan ancient texts.
You don't have a bond. Would you like to establish one with Zeta?
Help me help you.
Yeah, I think so. I think
Yeah.
I mean, the general was there when he found out that there's only 7 of your people left.
Yeah, I think the actual number's 6.
6. So I think
That's right.
Yep.
Inkatum didn't know that Dio.
Had
Dio's
been
fate.
consumed.
I think we can form some sort of bond over the fact that like our species are at risk
Mhm.
without like trying to understand everything about it.
I like that.
I don't know how to word that in a fancy bond.
Like I said, help me, help you.
Help me help
Little
you.
Jerry Maguire.
I also, as a noble, have
You remind me of a more amphibian myself.
a move called inspirational. When you help someone, add +2 to their roll instead of +1.
Dang.
Cool. So roll plus bond, which is 1 with a Zeta.
That's a big 4.
It's been the luck.
Fail.
Fail.
That's how you level up in this game.
Yep.
And then we'll go after a mythic monster that doesn't exist.
Yep.
I think I will spend a luck.
Okay.
I think that this is important enough to him that he's going to put all of his effort in. If this is the doom of his planet, he's going to like exhaust every resource to get anything he can for you.
This ship is your one shot.
Yeah,
To get,
Mm-hmm.
to get the goo.
to get the goo.
You find like some old Gungan who's like always kind of said like weird shit about the old city, but maybe it actually makes sense.
Do you know who comes? Or before you leave, Boss Leone comes to speak with you and the crew. So, you used to go down to Otoganga. Used to bring these outsiders down?
We're going to try.
That's a good. What's your first name?
Popo.
You know Popo. Last time outsiders went down to Otoganga to Jedi. Saved all of Naboo, they did. They saved all of a Naboo.
I remember. There's no Jedi here, though.
No.
No.
We still gonna take what we can get.
They say help us.
They're in a position of understanding. They know what it's like to lose their home.
They say like us, Popo. You should go with them. Go to Utaganga. Get the goo. Bring it back to us. We say help them. They help us.
We should help get Naboo back.
Let me tell you about the secret way to Otoganga. And we screen wipe. We see the wandering star diving through, looks like this, the canyon. And they're maneuvering through, cutting into outcroppings over there, diving down, look like sinkholes that lead into bigger canyons, chasms, and out into a vast, dark blue expanse of water. You see faint lights in the distance, some streams of bubbles. The ship moves, its lights are illuminating as much as it can, but there's so much sediment in the water that it's difficult to see, save for those lights that point out the distance. You get something on the radar, something big. It's not electrical. You use sonar when you're down in the water here, and you ping something moving.
There is currently another object at motion nearby.
3 kilometers away.
3 kilometers and closing.
Another ship.
Undetermined.
You still have guns, yes.
I was about to say, let's power up the turbo laser, the blaster. What are
The
they?
laser.
Ion cannons.
Quad laser
Sure.
turrets.
Yeah.
Right. I say, let's power up the laser turrets just in case.
I guess they work. Yeah.
Yeah. All of your equipment works underwater. It's got that tag.
General Gallo, you ever fired a quad laser cannon?
Yes.
You can use the dorsal. Come on, I'll show you how to get to the nest.
Okay.
Just in case.
We'll load some concussive missiles.
You
That
said
was going to be my nastygram to John. I was just about to write it out.
Come on, S3.
2.5 kilometers and closing.
You said not trust your eyes down here. Not everything as it seems.
What do you mean?
2 kilometers and closing.
Things here like to trick, bait. Be careful.
All right.
1 kilometer and closing.
Zeta,
Yes.
the sonar can't tell you everything about what's out there. It can't tell you how it feels. But you can gain more information than simply what the instruments say.
The instruments say it has vanished. I do not think I can gain more information than that.
You
The
can.
ship rocks.
Like it gets hit, or
It gets brushed by something. Starboard side
Hate it.
lifts in the air. You feel a jerk to your left to the port side.
It's right on us.
Zeta, the instruments are only a part of your senses. Reach out. Feel what is in the water.
General Gallo, you see anything on the scope?
Give me an assess.
What is that plus?
Plus Kani.
I think Zeta
11.
Okay. Here.
Don't worry, this one's going to get eaten by another fish, and then we'll have to fight
There's
the...
always a bigger fish. Don't worry about it.
I used that quote already.
Yeah, you did.
But then there'll be one bigger than that.
And then there's one bigger, and then there's the fish that eats the world.
That's what the earthquakes are awakening, by the way. Listeners
Kraken?
out there. Listeners
bigger
who don't want to listen to future episodes. That's what,
Spoiler.
that's what it's doing.
Take the land that must be taken.
Nice.
You guys see Godzilla in the new Godzilla movie?
Oh, Metalocalypse. No, I didn't see Godzilla.
I heard it was really good.
Me too.
Yeah, I heard it was good, yeah.
How can I avoid trouble or hide here?
Two options. There's this secret way that Boss Leone showed you. There are plenty of places to hide, little canyons and things like that. Or you can, if the ship has enough power, make it to Otogunga and hide within the ruins. The safer option is to hide now.
I think over the comms, you'll hear the general say, we need to think like prey. We hunted here. Look for crevice, hide.
Galdo, you see any places?
Yeah, I see one here. Turning. And that ship continues that turn to the port side and almost goes, you feel a gyroscope sort of on the inside of the ship sort of try to balance you out as the ship takes this hard bank. One of the features of the aquatic mode. And you find yourself in a dark canyon.
Zeta, turn off the sonar. We're going to have to keep our eyes out, but it can probably sense our pinging.
Shutting down.
And turn off lights.
Go on the lights. Lights go dark. There's nothing. You see out of this canyon, there's this little crack where you can see, only from this dark place can you see the light that's coming down here. Again, there's sediment. Looks like a trail that was left by some big, large object passing through.
Do we hear the Russian national anthem being sung aboard Red October?
One ping only.
You see a intercontinental ballistic missile rise up in front of you. No, it's quiet.
Visual and audio senses indicate limited results, San.
There's something out there. Can you feel its frustration?
I cannot.
Have you tried?
You hear something.
It's trying to locate us.
Possible.
What if we set a trap? Get it to come down this corridor and put a concussion missile right down its throat.
We do not know the current skill set of our enemy.
It's a fish. He says dismissively.
Yeah.
Patience.
Are the concussion? I'll ask in game. Rish, are the concussion missiles guided?
Semi-guided. I can get him to a point.
Probably hard to lock onto an organic signature, though.
Yeah, they're meant for ship-to-ship combat. But the concussive nature of this missile, especially in this aquatic environment, will cause quite a damage to anything explodes near.
It may be hard to target something we can't see, and our missiles aren't designed to attack. But perhaps we can use a missile as a distraction.
Maybe. Yeah.
Devin, I would like to make a calculation. Based on its closing speed, how fast do I think this creature moves?
Okay. Give me an assess.
Sure.
We can sneak out of this
10.
cavern and then shoot a missile backwards, let it explode, and go the other way.
Think it'll be drawn to the explosion.
I think so.
All right. So what is my best way in, way out, or way past? Because based on that calculation, I wanted to know if we could outrun it. And where can I gain the most advantage? How is it vulnerable to us?
Rij and San were onto something with the concussion missiles that would either hurt it or confuse it. Either one, I think, is advantageous for you. The best way in or out, your best way to get to Otagunga is to go straight down this canyon and then exit when it reaches the sea floor. Now, that might be dangerous because of how close quarters, how close these rock faces are to each other, but that is the safest way. This thing, the speed that it closed on you, it's very fast. And even if it couldn't keep up with you, the wake that you leave, the trail that you leave behind the ship, if this thing wanted to chase you, it probably could. So your best bet is to be in open water for as little time as possible. Confuse it and run.
Yeah, so that would be remain in the canyon as long as possible.
Yes.
Zeta says, because you're still in the ventral
Yeah, I'm
cockpit.
in the gun.
Zeta comes over the comms and he says, the shipboard comms, and he says, I believe the concussion missile conclusion was correct. The blast would likely confuse or injure the animal. Based on its closing speed, it would be difficult to outrun it. I suggest we remain in the canyon as long as possible until we can reach Otagunga.
All right. Maybe we try to lure it close enough that we can launch a missile at it and then run through the canyon.
Or launch it in the opposite direction. Let it follow the bait, and then proceed.
Do you think, Zeta, that you can go aboard the missile, sense when the creature is close, and then explode?
Unlikely, but possible.
Let's try it.
If you can control the missile remotely, I may be able to help you in determining when the creature is close.
I will try to access its targeting systems. I'll make a black hat roll, I guess.
Sure. On a 10 plus, you're in.
On a 6, the missile explodes on the ship.
I'm just waiting for you guys to fail a roll. 'Cause I already know.
Not going to be this time.
Oh.
11.
Okay. What are you trying to do?
I am trying to
Control the missile.
control the missile by knowing where the missile is. By knowing where the missile isn't. No, sorry. I am trying to take over its targeting system and its guidance system to make it manual.
Okay. Your ship is long range and amphibious.
Okay.
So there were a couple of missiles that you had rigged with, you've used these before, almost like probes that you would send out through the missile launcher. Except you can just take one of these modules and attach it to an actual live missile. It's a waste of, you destroy some of this little module.
It was probably like a low tech, low budget way to explore asteroid belts without risking a ship.
Yep.
So I think he heads down to the actual torpedo bay.
Yep.
And makes a few adjustments to the targeting module and then links it to the cockpit.
And what'd you get in that roll?
11.
You get 2. You have 2 of these missiles ready to go.
Okay. You hear Zeta over the comms. I am prepared.
All right. We're going to send those missiles out opposite our direction and then start leaving.
Understood. I will fire 1. On my mark. 3, 2, 1, fire.
Missile the way. Torpedo the way. Dan,
Yes.
let me just describe to you real quick the situation. You're in a canyon, right?
Mhm.
Imagine like Beggar's Canyon back home.
Yep.
There's a crevice, this sort of carved out area that looks like it maybe, if this was on the surface, might have been a lake itself.
Sure.
And that's where the ship is.
Mhm.
Now, that is in the wall
Of the canyon.
of the canyon.
Yep.
Once you leave that little pocket, it's very, very narrow.
Mm-hmm.
There's a relatively short way out of the canyon into open water, or there's a deep drop down. There's also space above you that leads to, you can see the light above you. But the way that the safest way, if you do want to stay in that canyon, is to dive straight down and then leave once you reach the seafloor.
Yep.
Where does this missile go?
The first one exits through that small passageway and banks left away from the direction we're going, or 180 degrees from where we're going, and travels at a higher kind of altitude. And I instruct Caldo to proceed by diving and proceeding the opposite direction.
As soon as that torpedo is away, you see above you, eclipsing that light that's coming down from the surface, a huge shape that follows the missile before it even explodes. When does it explode?
I let it run.
The whole way. Okay. No roll necessary.
Mm-hmm.
You beat me. You win this round, Danny. This thing just passes out of sight.
I say, Caldo, we have approximately 43 seconds before it can close on the torpedo.
Diving. And the ship lurches again into this nosedive deep down into the canyon. I'm going to need someone in the co-pilot. It's going to get Barry. Give me a Kani. Take a +1 from Caldo.
I think the torpedo, like kind of manual station, is there in the engine or by the
Sure.
the fire.
It can be detonated from
Sure, but
the command.
we'll leave him up in the cockpit.
Sure.
8.
8. You feel some scraping. The ship is making its way down. Even though it is amphibious, it's still kind of has that bulbous round shape to it. And this canyon gets narrow. It opens up in some places, but in where it's narrow, you can't avoid it. There's some scraping. Caldo is diving and strafing left and right to avoid it. But at this speed, in the depth, radar or sonar is limited, as you want to hide your escape. So a lot of it you're doing it visually, but some of those scrapes, I'm going to say, we've never used this. You're going to take light hull damage.
Okay.
To the ship.
How much light hull does it have? Or is it just a tag?
Take the tag. Tag, light hull damage. 1 harm. Shields are not very useful. They're for deflecting energy rather than keeping the
Physical matter
away from the ship. But you're diving. You're making distance. You're tracking that missile as far as it can go, assuming that the creature is following it, and you're getting ground on it. You suspect you'll be at the seafloor in 3 minutes.
Reduce radar pings.
All right. Turning them off.
Zeta's just kind of standing there, kind of bracing.
San is still in the gun turret, kind of trying to visually spot this thing if it comes back towards us and maybe trusting in his feelings to help him to locate this thing.
Roll plus deep.
My goal is to just kind of give a warning when it has come, when it's turned around and come back.
Sure.
So that, before it attacks the ship, give a warning that it's about to.
Okay. So, yeah, ships have like 6 harm total, right?
Okay. Yep, that's right.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, I failed. I failed my deep roll,
Oh, no.
which means I get 3 successes. And just put one little mark on that.
Oh my goodness.
I marked a dark side on deep, but it's not enough to corrupt me.
Great.
Super.
But closer. So yeah. So let me think. What does that look like? So that counts as like as a success, but I use
Take
the
a dark side point.
And it's deep, which is twisted. I think maybe I connect with this creature's mind, and kind of almost feel it what it's feeling and its perspective. What am I actually supposed to do with force sense? What's the actual question?
To get insight into its being.
That thing, that aspect of being a predator, I think,
Just
can
says
make you twisted.
Information is clear and decisive.
I have some information for you.
New insight into your current situation. Yeah. And take +1 forward when acting on it.
A Jedi once said, there's always a bigger fish. And as you're looking up, you see, as you're looking up while the ship is diving, you just see the darkness closing in and that light becoming slimmer and slimmer. Familiar feeling of the space around you darkening. And you feel something strange. And then the ship shakes. You spin that turret around and you see just behind it a huge tentacle is out, like has burst forth out of the canyon wall and has put its like in front of the wandering star, looping around it, threatening to just grab the wandering star and slam it into the canyon wall. You all start to feel some resistance and a sudden jerk in the ship.
What is that?
It's a bigger fish.
Launch a second missile. Take out that arm, whatever it is.
It's from maybe half a kilometer behind you. You can see there's like a tentacle that comes out, and then just behind the ship, there's another opening in the wall of the canyon where another tentacle has reached out.
This thing's in the canyon. We need to get out of the canyon.
Gallo, take some shots at it.
An explosion this close may cause harm to the wandering star.
We need to close the canyon so it can't follow us.
Gallo will open up on the
Okay.
pew-pews.
I like it. All right. I'll do the same. I'll start shooting the canyon walls.
All right. Give me plus cool.
Zeta's hand hovers above the launch button. Uh-oh.
Fail.
7.
It's a big 4.
Mark experience.
Gallo, which turret are you in?
Dorsal.
Dorsal. You are an experienced military mind. You have this sense for danger, and you hop out of the chair, out of the turret chair, and climb up quickly into the hull of the ship, and you hear that plastisteel just crunch and crush as the turret bay is crushed by this tentacle as it starts to wrap around. San, you whirl that turret around and fire off some shots.
Is that 2 total?
Say 2 harm.
Ree's just going to attempt to reroute power from the shield generator, since it's not doing us any good, to engines.
Okay.
Get us further away.
Good plus Kani.
8.
The engines fire up and the ship starts to rumble now. You feel give. You feel a lurch as the ship lurches forward. That tentacle releases you. You feel on the back of the ship just this large, more of a solid thud. The ship rocks. It bumps. The starboard side bumps the canyon as the port side is hit by a falling rock boulder as Earth now starts to collapse into the canyon. And you see on that sonar ping, something very large moving out of where you just were. It gets confused with some of the rocks, but your scanners that are specifically tuned to include or disinclude certain materials, you're able to pick up this enormous, this thing is bigger than the Wandering Star itself.
Zeta, turn that missile around. Make that thing come back.
I will do so, but it may not outrun the initial predator.
We don't need it to outrun it. We just need to get the predator moving towards the other predator.
Understood.
Kani.
Can he get that +1 forward?
Sure. Acting on
that.
Yep.
6, 9 + 1 is 10.
Awesome. You feel that missile. You have still of a connection to it.
Mm-hmm.
And we cut. And we just see this missile just gliding. Below it is a rocky bed, the canyon beneath it. Above it is light shining down. And just a shadow starts to overtake it. And the missile dives down into the canyon. This large shadow does this U-turn, this very nimble U-turn, and vanishes the other way.
It is currently tracking towards our location.
Rej, when it gets closer, ping it with sonar.
All right.
Rej, give me an act under pressure.
2 minutes and closing.
Piloting this ship down.
Thankfully, I have my trusty Durasteel companion.
You
with me.
absolutely do.
S3, they're maneuvering thrusters. We need more power.
Ooh.
13.
Jeez.
14.
You gun it. You pull all power from the shields, and the lights go dark in the cockpit, and the ship just is propelled forward. The only sense of motion is just the push of that engine and the small radius of light you have around your ship. And you eventually get down, you see the surface floor rising to meet you, and Caldo takes this hard turn and bursts out into open water. San, back up in the turret, you look behind you and you see this long, like crustacean-like creature, big tentacles on the front, and then a nautilus shell that loops around the back of it. It is enormous, and it's barreling through. There's rocks and things that hit the tentacles and bump the shell, but it seems to not be deterred.
You see, like the tentacles like reach out of the opening and then
pull itself
We're fighting
out.
Cthulhu.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it almost, you see it like rock and shake, and more debris bursts out as the shell. It wasn't even big enough to break through, to breach the canyon without pulling some of the earth with it.
General Gallo, please close the access hatch to the dorsal gun emplacement.
He's already done.
Excellent.
Making his way up to the cockpit.
1 minute and closing.
So we have 3 damage, which means some of the systems are destroyed. So the dorsal cannon is destroyed right now, and the backup shield generator was overloaded with some of the maneuvering.
It's okay, you weren't using those shields anyway.
Nope, we don't need them.
Probably won't
So
have-
the strong defenses tag is currently disabled.
Okay, cool.
Ooh.
Was that like an armor for your ship?
No, it's just I'm role playing it
I like
because it
that.
says if you have 3 hull damage.
Oh, treat it as one less.
Several modules are just destroyed or disabled, and there's moderate hull damage.
Cool.
I'm role playing, Devin.
That's good. No, it's good. I like that. That's cool. We've never used the come
Ship
under
damage,
fire
yeah.
ship
Yeah.
damage rules. But I like that. You know, it spaceship combat is very different than waterborne combat.
Zeta, send that second missile towards this thing. Maybe we can deter it. Maybe we can slow it down enough for the other predator to get to him.
I will not have another option if a predator is upon us.
There's already 2 of them. We're running out of options as it is.
San, give me a fortune roll. No, Zeta, give me a fortune roll. You're the one who controls that missile.
7. 6 and a 1. Opposite ends.
We see the wandering star just bursting, leaving a trail of bubbles behind it. And it almost disappears into the darkness. We just see this large crustacean pushing itself down the water. It's moving at an incredible speed for the size that it is. We see another figure, another shape move above us and then drop down. It's this enormously long eel-like creature. It's moving in such that oscillating left and right, pushing the water as it goes. It passes this crustacean, but as it does, a concussion missile just strikes the shell of this creature and it tumbles and starts to fall as this big eel-like thing disappears into darkness. Let's find out what happens next time.
God damn it.
Man, this is another bigger fish.
bigger.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Wings of Kani. Intro and outro music by Galactic Empire. Check them out at Galactic Empire Official on social media. Our Nasty Graham theme music by A Wilhelm Scream. Dramatic voiceover by Liv. Check her out at Musings of a Polyhedron on Substack. Check us out on nastygrampod.com. You can get full bios of all the cast. You can get all the links to our social media, links to the feed with all of our back content. So head on over, check out the Nastygram Lounge on Facebook, and chat with us, and tell us your favorite force powers.
That's nasty.